Hey everyone, it's Charlie Morgan and welcome to another video for the channel. Today I'm interviewing Spencer, who's used our program to go from 4,000 US dollars to 26,000 US dollars in 3 fucking months. That's pretty mad. He's actually Canadian, so the title will probably say 5,000 to 35,000. There's a bit of clickbait, I won't lie. But for the sake of being fully transparent, honest with you, in USD, he's gone from 4,000 to 26,000 in 3 months. So he's added 22,000 in monthly recurring revenue using our strategies and our program. He's an awesome guy. Now, if you're watching this and you're new to the channel, my name's Charlie and I've built and scaled my own agency to 7 figures. I've built my own coaching business to multi 7 figures. And now I help other people do exactly the same thing. I have the time of my life doing it and I love it to bits. And I also love Spencer to bits as well. So without further ado, I'm going to roll the interview clip where Spencer will explain how he's used our program to scale and grow. I'll see you in there. All right, hey everybody, it's Charlie Morgan and I am joined by one of my close friends and also clients, Spencer. Today we're going to be interviewing Spencer. It's probably going to be a little bit more informal. Actually, I don't think I've ever really done a formal interview. But Spencer's been working with us over at Imperium with his e-commerce agency. And Spencer's been with us for a few months now. When he started, he was making around, I think about $5,000. And this month he managed to make $35,000. Now, to clarify, that's Canadian. So if we actually revert that to US, currently he's making around 26,000, but either or, we've added about like 22,000 in new monthly revenue in the last 3 months or something. Obviously that's pretty cool. I wasn't actually aware that that had happened until I reached out to ask you. So slap on the wrist and not bringing it. But jokes aside, really today is just to have a chat about how that's happened. Spencer, why don't you just introduce yourself quickly and sort of talk about your niche and what you sell and just introduce yourself.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I'm Spencer, based over in Vancouver, Canada. And yeah, we're basically a full service e-commerce business. We do everything by email. So we help clients with conversion rate optimization, which has kind of been a big part of us getting to where we're at right now with the revenue. But yeah, we do conversion rate optimization, website development, a little bit of branding, and then obviously paid ads on Facebook and TikTok and all that good stuff. So yeah, I started the agency. Well, it's actually kind of funny because this is kind of like my 2-year anniversary of when I actually found out about SMMA. So this was like May 2020, came home from school. I was playing baseball. It was, yeah, in college, really broke, not a lot of money at all. And then got into the space. And then January 2021 was when I was like, all right, I got to take a dive into e-commerce. And like anybody who jumps into e-commerce for the first time, you just have absolutely no idea what you're doing. And to be honest, I still don't really have any idea what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, 2021 was a good year. And then that's when I met Charlie, of course. And then in November of that year, we lost, or I think it was September or something like that, we lost like 6 of our clients. And that was a massive like punch in the face. And I was like, oh, geez. So yeah, that was when Charlie slid in my DMs and managed to I didn't, and the funniest thing about this whole thing is I never even wanted to buy it. I told Charlie, I was like, not get it.
Yeah, because I remember I talked to you. We were on that sort of discovery call.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, like follow up with me. So we had the second call and you were like, look, man, I don't really want to do this. And I was like, that's not an answer that I'm willing to accept. And I'm actually pretty sure, do you know what? And I think I might have even said, I fully anticipate you coming on the YouTube channel for an interview, and I can see that happening. I'll listen back to the recording at a later date, but you did have a fair bit of resistance. I guess we'll start with that. Why did you have the resistance? Had you been burned before or something?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say burned, but I feel like you just kind of get skeptical of courses because like I basically like invested into a bigger program. I don't want to drop shade because they're the ones that got me into the whole thing. But I probably got into it like too early, but I was expecting like, oh, this is going to be the course. And again, it's like when you're starting out, you don't have anything. You're just looking for the course that's going to help you kind of take off. But ultimately what I think it is, and I've kind of heard, I'm a big fan of Hormozy, so I've kind of been listening a lot to him, but there's not really like one single course that's going to like blow you up or like go crazy. But it's like kind of a collection of courses. And like the one thing that I was really missing in these other courses was just really good lead gen strategies. And I was basically like, I thought I knew everything, and that's just my own arrogance, but I was working like with apparently like one of the best email marketing guys, and I was working with some of the best, offer building guys and stuff like that. So I was just very skeptical, and I was like, yeah, like what's this guy got that, again, just thinking I know everything. basically, yeah, when I remember you sent over like a preview of the course, and I have to come fully transparent because now I'm on the channel, so
Yeah.
I have to do it. But I seriously, I like almost tried to recreate what you were doing from that one little module that you sent me that was talking about some outreach strategies, and I was like, oh, Charlie, I was like, why'd you do that? Now I've got your strategy. And then all of a sudden, like I got into the course and I was like, wow, like there's so much more to it. And yeah, I mean, basically, and to make a long answer even longer, I wasn't like super, I wouldn't say like crazy skeptical about whether or not you could deliver results. I think I was just more or less like tired of investing because I was just like wanting to make some money because I invested quite a bit in courses, and more or less just thinking like, oh, like what's this guy know that I don't know? But yeah, I mean, I was very wrong.
Well,
I learned a lot through you guys. So
it's quite common because so many agency owners and other high ticket business owners are, the belief system they have around outreach is fucked basically, because they've tried so much. And then what happens is, like, if you invest in a program prior to working with us, for example, and that person is put on this pedestal in the market and everyone looks up to them, they are the authority. Then it's like, if that person can't solve my problem and they've got all this authority and all this clout and the Lamborghinis and stuff, then there's no way in hell that some random weird dude with a dodgy haircut and a birthmark with 200 subscribers on YouTube can. So it's like, we have that a lot where people come in and they're not skeptical about like our intentions, but they're skeptical about the entire thing. Like, their experience with organic attraction and outreach has just been nothing but negative since they started. So anyone that challenges this core belief that then manifests as skepticism. We managed to overcome that, and I'm glad we did, because obviously you've basically been able to, well, really 5x your agency, or probably even 6x really, since you started 3 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. Why don't we start? Well, let's story this out. Where were you like a couple of months ago when you were starting? And obviously we knew where you were financially, that sort of 5-6K mark, but walk me through what had led to that and how you were feeling, and we'll then contrast that to where you are now.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of hit burnout. So to go a little bit before January, because it kind of leads up to what I did in January, but I kind of hit a bit of burnout in November, because it's like, what I try to explain to people is like, some people who work, or just, I mean, in the agency space, a lot more people know, but imagine just working 10 to 12 hours a day at whatever your job is, and then getting $0 in return, like, or just like, getting $1,000 a month. Like, you're working crazy amount of hours, and there's just nothing there. So it's like, you get to a point where you're just like, man, I am exhausted. So in December, I basically just took some time off. It was about 2 or 3 weeks. I just wanted to enjoy myself. Funny enough, this is how, like, I was really like, I went back to work with my with my dad's company just to like get a couple extra bucks coming in, because I was like, yeah, I mean, the agency is not doing too great right now. So I literally went back to help with that. But anyway, in January, I basically hit the reset button, and I was like, I need to just be way better. And I had a very important mindset switch, and I think your course helped with this a lot. And just honestly talking with you and seeing how you carry yourself has been a lot of like just helpful for me and how I want to carry myself. I'm not trying to pump your tires here, but no, it's true. So anyway, I had a switch where I was like, I need to stop focusing. And I think for anyone who's kind of struggling, like chasing money, I need to stop focusing so much on the money and just focus on the value that I'm trying to provide. So my big goal was like, I want to provide, if my goal is $40,000 a month, which I came pretty close to, if I just focus on providing $40,000 worth of value each and every single month, I'll probably make more than that. So in January, I made that switch, and I basically went through, I like scrapped my entire offer. I was offering basically like landing pages, and then this, and then we'll do websites if you want us to, or we'll do Facebook, or we'll do that. And I just said, you know what, like, we're going to put all this kind of stuff together. We're going to have one really solid offer. And we just started pushing that forward. So yeah, in January, it was a very slow month, and it's like anything. And you start, you're like grinding, you're getting meetings, you're getting a couple meetings booked, or for example, you're sending, you're doing all your outreach, and, for 2 weeks, nothing. And then, another 2 weeks, still nothing. And then all of a sudden in February, that work that I put in January started to finally show. And that's what I try to tell anyone in when they're doing their outreach, is like, the work you do in 1 month is going to show up the next. So it's like, just keep doing the work, just keep pushing it, keep sending whatever you need to send. It's going to start eventually to pan out. So yeah, in February, we had a decent month. I think we did around, like, we actually jumped from like 5 to like 11,000 in February. And then March, we did like 12, 13. April, I think we did like 14, 15. And then, yeah, May, this month has just been nuts. Like, we've, like Charlie said, done around 26,000 US. And to be honest, we actually have $9,000 in payments coming through next month. So if everyone paid in full, I would have been above 30K, like close to basically my goal of 40K. So I know, again, longest answer ever, but for the most part, my mindset in January was like, I just need to be better. And when I applied that mindset and started applying strategies and just stuck with it, and honestly, a lot of it is just work. Like, you just got to show up every morning, or every day, and just put in the work. And it's starting to finally show now, which is awesome.
Prior to starting with the program, if I'm not mistaken, you were already working quite hard.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, you were sort of spinning. What do you think, what sort of advantage did the program give you that allowed you to continue? Like, obviously you still need to work hard, but it's what you're working on, how you're working. What did you find useful about the program? And like, because obviously you've been through other courses and stuff, and I'm sure that that's influenced your success. It's not like ours is just this one-hit wonder where you got everything. Like, sometimes that happens, but it's rare. So what was it about the program that we have that gave you that sort of paradigm shift? That was it the methods, was it Loom, was it the cold messaging? I remember you messaged me at one point as well. You've messaged me a few times just being like, hey, like, Charlie, I haven't had any responses this week, and the next week it's like, I signed 2 clients this week. And so so walk me through how Imperium's been a part of that.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference, like, between, I mean, and I haven't taken every program in the world, but between your program and the $20,000 worth of money it's spent on other ones, is like, you just equip your students with like a tool set and like skills and teach them principles, compared to just being like, do this. And for me, like, I'm very logistical. So like, when I saw your strategies, like, your strategies are obviously killer and they work. And I know that I could just see from like how you develop them, like, they were just different than what everyone else is doing. And you have that philosophy, which I think really resonated with me, was like, you're just so tired of seeing the same things like over and over and over again. And everyone who's in the agency space knows it's like, you see the same freaking emails, you see the same cold DM. Like, it's just so, it's like, oh man.
It's like when you see people, like, you get added by someone on Facebook and it's like, have you considered hiring a fully trained PA? It's just like,
it's just like, you just crave like something different. And I honestly think like, when I chatted with you, and then obviously when I got into the course, it was just different. Like, it was just something new, and it was like so refreshing. And then one other thing as well is, like I said, it's like, you just go so much further to actually explain the things rather than just tell people to do things. And that's something that I've even learned as I've been building my team, is I used to be like, just do this or do that, or grab this and put that there. Like, just kind of, coordinating rather than just trying to like, help like explain like, this is how you do this and this is why we do this, and just going so much more in depth. And again, like, your philosophies behind everything are just, I mean, brilliant.
Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to pump your tires, but yeah, that was the biggest thing for me, was just like your methods behind everything and the why and what you're doing.
Well, yeah, because what we concluded is that where most course businesses go wrong is, so you want to create this sort of network effect if you're selling a course where every other client you add increases the value of every other client you have. Where like, and you can't do that by, I mean, we obviously have scripts and we have templates and we have copy templates, but we've got like fucking dozens of them, not just one. But like, what we realized is, if you just give an army of 200 people exactly the same thing to do, then pretty quickly they all die out. So like, this is why like, we've got like 3-hour videos on like how to actually think.
They're long.
Yeah, but they're long. But like, and people sometimes complain like, dude, how do you watch like a 2-hour, 45-minute video on like biology and natural selection, how that relates to organic attraction? And I'm like, well, and then they do it, and then they're like, oh, that makes sense. But like, what we tried to do and what we have done is expose the wiring. It's like, well, how did we actually arrive at this conclusion? Because I mean, you've got the old sort of like, give a man a fish, teach a man to fish thing. But I want to like give a man a boat and the rod and how to repair the boat and like how to skin the fish. Like, we need to give him everything. And I appreciate that. Did you do any sales stuff in the program? Because I know that you mentioned like,
yeah. Well, again, that's how I knew. I think I was also like very, very just interested in the sales side of things, because like, I've never seen I still think to this day I got like hypnotized or something, and I'm glad you did it, because I had zero intentions. Like, I started our call with like, I'm not buying this course. I'm like, I appreciate it, man. Like, hey, awesome. And then by the end of it, I was like, I literally just gave this guy my credit card and paid it. What just happened, man?
I do remember it. I was like, you was just saying like, Charlie, there's no way you're going to get me to buy. Like, I'm not. Yeah. I'll listen to what you have to say. But I think that's a pretty good sort of like lesson in sales, because a lot of people at that point would just conclude that the call is not a good fit. And when it comes to lead quality and stuff, like what people say they want is not necessarily what's actually best for them. And not that you didn't know what was best for you, but you'd obviously been through courses before and you'd labeled them as like useless. And then obviously when we screen share the program and you start thinking, oh, there's like 3-hour videos on how to do Loom scripts, like this might actually be different, then it's useful. So you basically, you started doing that sort of like 5K CAD. Now you're at that sort of like 35K CAD. Describe to me the emotion, how you feel, because obviously you've come close to your goal of 40K this month, and next month you'll probably even exceed it. But how do you feel? That's really the most important thing here.
It's weird. Like for me, I just try to keep my head down, and like I hate, like I don't show anything off or like try to be like, oh look at me. I kind of hate being that guy. And I feel even kind of weird just like talking about.
Oh, I know, because you didn't even tell us. You didn't even tell us you did it.
But it's like to be honest, like it sometimes I really try to just find time, just like take a step back and just think about it. And like I'll be honest, like it usually hits me when I'm driving and I've got some like kind of music playing, some kind of like, you know, some not maybe some trumpets or something. I'm just kidding. But I was driving. This actually happened to me 2 days ago. I was just kind of driving. I literally dropped my girlfriend off at work, and it's just like you know, every other day. And I just kind of like sat back for a second. I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I was like, and I kind of get like goosebumps because it's just to think about like just for me on like just how much like work I've put into this. Like for anyone that knows me kind of like in like Vancouver, like just my old friends, like I'm just here. Like if you're looking for me, I'm like right here. Like and I'm just so passionate about what we do. And I honestly, like, I just love this stuff. And like I just want to succeed so bad. And I felt like for me, especially when I was starting out, I was just like, am I going to be able to succeed? Like, I don't know if I'm going to be that guy. And especially, I mean, when I was playing baseball, when I was down in Florida and down in Oregon, like I battled like a lot of like mental side of things, of just like zero belief in myself. And so like for me to kind of overcome all of that and just kind of see like, holy cow, like I literally just made $30,000 this month. Like it was like, I'll be honest, it was pretty emotional. But again, like I just kind of like get out of that, like get back to work. Like it's time to get back to work. So, but yeah, it felt amazing, man. It's just kind of like, wow, all right, we're here. And now I know next month, if I don't hit 30 plus, I'm gonna be like, what's going on?
I think it's like, it's a really important, like, what's the word? Because like, obviously what's really interesting is your goal was 40 and that's pretty much what you've hit. So it's almost like what you actually set is your limit. The problem that I think a lot of people have with goals and stuff is they hit them and then they celebrate and get proud and satisfied and comfortable, and then that becomes their new standard, and they don't really exceed that. And there's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of people are quite comfortable with that. But like, I sense that like you'll now hit it and then be like, all right, I'm going to go for 100. And then you'll get to 100 and then you'll be driving one day and be like, what the fuck? but I know what you mean. It is because we're so like in the work and you're just at your desk in your computer every day, it's kind of rare. And then usually when you're not at your computer, you're thinking about work and you're doing something related to it. Like, so it's rare to have that moment, but when you have it, dude, like it's beautiful, isn't it? I remember when we made 100K in a month, like the first time a while ago, I didn't process it until like a month or two later, and I was like, hang on, that's $100,000. That's like that's not a small amount of money. Like, and then I had to correct that belief, because now if you see it as a large amount of money, then well, that's, you've capped your belief, because you're like, I've made a lot of money. So now I'm sort of trying to see it as like it's nothing. But so walk me through, so where are you at now and what are your goals for the future?
So right now I got a lot of work to do. I've been doing a lot of hiring. We've like basically, I think in May we brought on like 5 clients or something crazy. Like I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go for it. Like we're gonna sign. But the thing is like, for the people who are like, oh, like that's kind of crazy, like you're going to overbomb your team. It's like, if you really care, or if you're thinking about that, or if you're worried about that, you're still going to deliver a great service. Like, and that's the thing, like, I just know we care about our clients, so we're going to take care of them. We're going to communicate with them. But for the most part, like we just got to continue. Like for me, I still like, I kind of think in like 5-year cycles. I think this is kind of a hormozy thing as well, but like, I just still feel like I know nothing. So like, I'm just so hungry to like, try to keep learning. And like whenever I see somebody doing something, I'm like, why are you doing that? Or like, I just love the process and of like what we're doing and like what we're building. And I just have like such a strong vision for like what we're going to be able to do. And obviously, like, you know, monetary wise, it's nice, but for the most part, I just want to keep building. Like I'm just in build mode. And it's funny, like I have a lot of friends that are just like, oh, we should go here, or like we should travel there, or like, you know, meet us there and then come out there and we'll party. And it's just like, I just have zero desire. Like I just want to keep building.
I have
like,
the exact same philosophy, and I think we're probably invited to travel by the same person. I don't know, that's true. You know, but it's the same thing where it's like, they're like, oh yeah, let's go to Miami, and then I'm like, I could, but I then I've got to get on a flight and be jet lagged, and then I could be working during that time. But I don't know if that's healthy or not. But
well, I mean, I think it's good to have like a bit of a balance, but it's just like, for me, I'm a really, really big fan of like momentum. I think this kind of stems from like my baseball kind of background, but it's like when you're going, like just keep going. Like, and right now we have so much momentum, and I just like, I don't want to take a break. Like, I just want to keep going. Like, I just gonna keep pushing it and seeing what we can do. So for me, it's like, yeah, like, you know, I probably should take maybe a little bit of a break and like have some fun and let loose a little bit. But for me, it's just like, that's not what I'm like doing this for. I'm doing this for because now I've made that transition where it's like, it's less about the money. It's more about like what we're building. And honestly, like, I just have fun. Like I literally wake up every single day, just like excited to keep building.
Yeah. Like I was saying to you that right now, but before the call, I was explaining I'm working on the next mindset video for the module. And like, it's kind of like people always say to me, like, why not go on holiday, or why not take more breaks, or why not go and sit on the beach because you've got a team? And it's like, I'd have more fun here at my desk than I would there. Like, and then people, they just don't get it, because like work has such a negative connotation. And I think the reason behind that is because like when you're starting, like it's horrible. Like it's disgusting. That first like 1 to 2 years in business, when it's sort of like pure force and no power, it really sucks. But then if you can, with like you've done, for example, now that you've got down and you've focused and you've used the program, gonna plug that and stuff, you know, and you've listened to Hormozy and stuff, it's like you can now not sit back, but you're having fun, which is a huge thing. What's the next goal for you? Because you mentioned the vision and stuff, and you mentioned it's not too much about the money, but where would you like to end up the year at?
I think for me, like my goal is try to just build a 7-figure business. I think that's like kind of the first step, is like, all right, well, let's just keep pushing it. But again, like more or less, like if I'm going to make 7 figures, I better be providing 7 figures worth of value. So I think like monetary wise, I'm looking to have like a massive Q4. Like I'm trying to basically equip and we've done, and to be honest, like I talk about, we've signed clients like through the strategies that we've used to plug the course again, like we have signed some crazy clients, like
I was going to
really good I
was going to say this.
Yeah, a lot of people. Sorry, to answer the goal question, then we'll go back. Basically, like my goal is to have a massive Q4 and then basically just finish the year off, maybe, you know, above 50,000 would be awesome. And then more or less just, again, like my main goal right now is just to keep building and keep learning, because I think I have so much more to learn and so much more to continue to you know, equip myself with.
I think
build on. So
why don't you just like 5x your output on outreach?
That's the thing, is like I just would need to build a team for it.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Because I forget you're not in lead gen. You can't just like
and like the thing is, as well as like what we do is like very custom, and like there's a lot of time and energy and effort that has to put into like each and every client. So like our goal is like we could probably like honestly hit like 100K a month if we had 10 or 12 like legit clients, like really, you know, 7 to 8 figure clients on our you know, on our roster. And so it's like for what we're doing, I feel like it's a lot more quality, as much as quantity still plays a part. Like obviously you got to have some clients paying the bills, but yeah, it's a little less than like, you know, we can just send them off to watch some videos.
Yeah, well, this is true. Like yeah, you have to do the work. That's fair enough. Let's go back to this quality thing. So you've signed, because we have this with different ecom clients where they'll sign like real, you know, beefy like 8-figure brands and stuff. That's obviously not an easy thing to do, because you know you have to get your qualifications right. You have to learn to say no. But just talk to me. You don't have to obviously explain who your clients are and stuff, but just walk me through like what some of these clients are like, and because obviously they've come from the methods we use, so it'd be good to validate that.
Yeah. So I mean, the biggest thing was like me just trying to figure out how to talk to these people, because it's like, you know, I'm some 22-year-old kid. I've been doing e-commerce for 2 years and they're running an 8-figure business. And I'm like, yeah, we can do a better job than you. So it's like, it was a big mindset thing for me to kind of like switch into like, no, it's all right. Like we've got our strategies, we believe in ourselves, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so like the quality of the clients, like I remember our first 8 calls that we booked using the system. It was like, I was like, how much you spend a month on ads? They're like 60K. I'm like, holy cow. Like, how much you spending much on ads? They're like 100K. I'm like, holy cow. And then the next call was like, I was like, oh, how much are you spending on ads? They're like 350,000 a month. I was like, oh my goodness. And like, I'm used to handling accounts like 5 to 10K. Like,
Yeah.
I think our biggest spend was like maybe 50 or 60K before. And so I was just like, holy, like, that just also showed to me as well as like my offer was like enticing to them, or like they liked what we were doing. And like the way that we were approaching them was like it resonated with them. So I was like, all right, keep doing that. Keep doing that. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, like the 2 clients, or I'd say like the 3 big clients that we brought on, like they're all doing like 250,000 plus a month. And like some of these clients, which is like insane to me, and this is for most people in e-commerce, they'll tell you this, is like, if they have a client that's doing a ton organically on their store and they're not spending a lot on ads, that's like an absolute gold mine. So we literally brought on a client that was like doing 350,000 a month with like $1,000 on ads. So like their blended ROAS was like 300, like it was ridiculous. And I was like, you're not spending anything, because like most times like e-commerce is seriously hard. Like no matter what anyone tells you, like it's very, very hard, because like most people have all the strategies, like they're already spending 50K a month and they're struggling to get their 3x and whatever it is. And obviously iOS is a whole thing in itself that causes some issues and stuff like that. So the clients that we were bringing on was just like they're literal unicorn clients. And then even a lot of these clients that are doing that much money, they're very arrogant and like think they know everything. And some of these guys are just like the most amazing, like genuine people. It's like, where am I finding these people?
Yeah.
I was like,
Bloom Alchemy, mate. Imperium Agency. We wanted to engineer it so that like people didn't get shit clients. But I think it's also a testament to you being bold and going for them, because some people are just like terrified. They're like, oh, I don't want to do this because I might get sued. But then it's kind of like, be careful. But that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time here. Now, this is the fun part. This is where I actually get you to sell the thing for me. But all jokes aside, if you could say, so knowing what you know now about the program, seeing where it's helped you go to and all of that good stuff, if you could go back to Spencer a few months ago and grab him by the shoulders and tell him something about the program, what would it be? And what I'm asking you to do here is if someone's watching this and they're on the fence or considering like, should I book this call? Do I trust them? Like, what would you say to them?
I would say the biggest thing is just like honestly take action. And like it's gonna be scary, and you're gonna be like, oh, I don't know if I should spend that much money. But if you're thinking that, then you definitely should buy, because you're gonna make sure you get that ROI back, and you're gonna make sure that you make that money back. You honestly just kind of have to take a leap. Like that's the only way to put it. It's like if you're a little nervous of like, I don't know if I should do this, but like you think it might help you and you think like it could help you, like you just got to do it. And like even then, like if you don't see crazy successes, like if you don't add a 20K per month to your agency or whatever, which is probably going to be hard to do if you if you just follow the program, or not that hard to do if you just follow the program. But even if it doesn't deliver crazy like results for you or whatever it is, like you're still going to learn so much from that. And the biggest thing is like for people who are kind of I'm acting like I know everything now, but like if you're struggling, or if like you're don't really know what to do or like where to go, like just take action on something and just have conviction in it and just believe in it and then just follow through with it. And I mean, soon enough you're going to be able to get to where you want to go. You'll
be driving your girlfriend to work and driving back with the big old smile on your face. That's that's awesome, man. I'm kind of grateful and glad to myself for the extra layer of conviction that I had when I was talking to you in the first place. Because it's really fascinating to me how this sort of stuff unfolds, because it's kind of like I could have just been face value, just like, okay, fair enough, good luck. And who knows, you could still have made it and been fine. But I do consider it a pleasure to be working with you, and really grateful for your time, and I'm excited to see where the program takes you next, man. Unless you've got anything else to add or any other pieces of advice to give, I think we can wrap it up.
I think I've talked enough. I talk way too much.
No such thing, man. Cool. Peace out, man. Thanks for
Awesome.
watching,
Thanks.
everyone. Anyone that wants to get similar results to Spencer, just use the first link in the description to go through to a funnel. It's obviously a marketing funnel, right? It's going to try and sell you something. So don't be surprised when I try and ask you to book a call. Spencer did. That's cool. Subscribe, like, and comment, do all that shenanigans. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, Spencer. Cheers.